So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Atherosclerosis, heart disease. If you are over the age of 10, it is likely that you are suffering from either an underlying condition or heart disease, atherosclerosis, or plaques, either in your arteries or somewhere in your body. Heart disease is the number 2 killer in the world for human beings. So you would think with all of these deaths, we would have a purely identified mechanism of action for why it is we as humans catch heart disease. But you know what? There isn't one. But there actually is. It's just that the scientists do not want to tell you what I'm going to tell you today. Today, I'm going to share with you not only the true cause for heart disease, which is not cholesterol or sugar, and then I'm going to give you the best foods you can possibly eat to prevent heart disease. And if you have a current condition of heart disease, atherosclerosis, or your arteries are blocked, I'm going to give you the right foods to eat to clear them once and for all. So stick with me. Now, in the modern westernized view of medicine, if a disease presents in one part of the body, we call it a different disease because it's in a different part of the body. From the holistic perspective, which is the world that I come from, we look at medicine completely different. We believe that when a symptom presents itself, it is the body fighting to be well. The body is actually identifying what the issue is and trying its best to rid the body of that particular ailment as quickly as it possibly can. We believe that if there is a disease in your eye, that disease didn't just start in your eye. It started in your whole body, and your whole body has weak points that we need to strengthen. So that's a different perspective from the current Western model that we use. But nonetheless, we can still get to the solution that we're looking for. So for example, in Western medicine, if you are having a problem with vitamin K2 and you can't reabsorb calcium from your blood back to your bones, and you're eating a lot of sugar and you're having lack of oxygen going to your organs, if that symptom presents in your eyes and there's plaque buildup, we would call that cataracts. If the same condition occurs in your knee at your joint, in Western medicine, we would say that that is arthritis. If the same thing happens in your kidneys and you're producing a lot of uric acid from the food that you're eating and you're producing kidney stones, which is the same calcium problem, we would say you have kidney stones. If the same thing happens in your gallbladder, we say, hey, you got gallbladder stones. If the same thing happens at your big toe after you've eaten a large steak and you got a bunch of uric acid buildup and calcium collection, we would say that you have gout. If the same thing happens in your arteries at the heart and there's plaque buildup and calcium deposits, we're going to say it's atherosclerosis. And that, my friends, is really why there's so much confusion about what is the true cause of heart disease, how do we deal with it, how do we get rid of it once and for all, and why can't we all agree on one prescribed methodology? I'm going to give that to you now. Now, I'm sure you probably heard it before, that the cause of heart disease is the big old bad cholesterol. And I'm here to tell you that that's a complete fabrication and lie. Cholesterol does not cause heart disease. Now, the reason cholesterol has gotten such a bad name is because way back in the day, 50 years ago, the food companies realized they can make a lot more money if they sold you seed oils like canola oil, corn oil, all these fake synthetic oils versus using real live animal oils. And by giving us these synthetic oils, they make a lot more profit than us relying on actual real cholesterol-based oils from animals. Before the introduction of vegetable oils, 90% of human beings consume real animal fat, like lard, tallow, omega-3 fish oils from salmon, real sources of real cholesterol that were actually good for our bodies, became the big bad boogeyman. And then we were pushed as a population into the synthetic oil. So that is why cholesterol is the scapegoat for cardiovascular disease. But the reality is that cardiovascular disease is not caused by cholesterol. In fact, cholesterol is a byproduct of the body trying to be well. The number one fuel source for repairing damaged tissue is cholesterol. When you see large amounts of cholesterol in the human body at a particular location, it is the body trying to repair something. Now, the tissue that lines the walls of your arteries and your blood supply get damaged every single day. Moving, working out, whatever. Now, there's several things that can cause these micro tears and ruptures in your artery. But if you have enough vitamin C and you have the vitamin and mineral nutrients in your body to handle it, you'll be fine. Your body can repair them. But when your body can't repair them and you're eating these highly refined processed food, a very strange thing happens. The number one cause that every single scientist is aware of triggering cardiovascular disease is a nanobacteria. And the nanobacteria gains access into your cardiovascular system through your gut. So by eating the wrong foods, by eating these synthetic foods, by putting your body under immense pressure and sparking immune responses every time you eat, when that happens, the body tries to compensate. And when the body compensates, these nanobacteria, which have a calcium shell on the exterior, are ushered in to the blood vessel walls. Now, the body is a remarkable, smart, intelligent instrument. It knows how to heal itself. But if we're eating the crap food, the refined processed, synthetic foods, we are robbing our body's ability to actually go into these arteries and fix them. So what happens is that nanobacteria gets lodged into these micro tears and ruptures. They start proliferating. The body hasn't yet recognized that the calcium that it's sensing at that location is not to repair it, but to damage it. So it brings in more white blood cells and it brings in more cholesterol to try to patch these micro tears and holes in your cardiovascular system. Over time, year after year, decade after decade, the body never actually gets a chance to heal the micro tears and the ruptures. So it keeps packing in more and more cholesterol, more and more of these bacteria, more and more of this inflammation. And so ultimately, you end up getting a complete blockage in the artery because you simply can't heal the damage that's being done to your system. Now, this nanobacteria is known, it's been documented, and it has a name. But your medical doctors and your scientists are not allowed to talk to you about it. Some of them just don't know, but most of them who do know can't tell you. And that's just where we are today in modern medicine. So what are the foods that we need to consume to help our body address this immune response we're getting from the synthetic foods we're eating? Well, the short answer is stop eating heavily processed, refined synthetic foods. But that's a lot easier said than done. So what foods do we need to eat? So the number one problem we need to solve in terms of food is how do we help the body take this calcium that's floating around and bring it back to the bones where it belongs? And the number one thing we can use to do that is vitamin K2. And vitamin K is very, very powerful because it allows our body to regulate calcium reuptake in our blood and to and from our bones. This is so critical. This is essential for any properly functioning human being. Now, some great sources of vitamin K2 are natto, which is a Japanese dish used from fermented soybeans. That's really good for you. The other superfood you can take for vitamin K2 is sauerkraut, making sure you're introducing that into your colon and help regulating your gut microbiome. Very, very important. Another great source of vitamin K2 is beef liver, full of vitamins and minerals. Excellent source to get you the nutrition that you need. Now, the other thing we can do to address cardiovascular disease in terms of eating the right foods is getting our vitamin C up. Remember, the body can repair those micro tears and ruptures if the vitamin C is up at the right level. Now, you might recall hundreds of years ago, sailors would actually die because literally their arteries would leak blood. And that's because they were deficient in vitamin C. Vitamin C is very, very important for the overall immune system, but mostly important in terms of eliminating these micro tears and ruptures in our arteries. Now, in terms of foods, you'll probably be thinking oranges. And I'm going to say, nope, not oranges. The number one food you want to take for vitamin C that's readily available are your bell peppers. Your red bell pepper, your yellow bell pepper, and your green bell peppers. Those will give you the vitamin C levels that you need. You will also want to add in strawberries. Strawberries are also a very high source of vitamin C. And kiwi. If you can get some kiwi fruit, super antioxidant, super powerful in vitamin C as well. Now, those are some foods you can add to your diet to help your body do its job to prevent the cardiovascular disease to begin with. Now, if you already have cardiovascular disease, which is, like I said, very likely if you're over the age of 10, what can we do to get rid of some of that blockage that's already in our arteries? The number one thing you want to take to get rid of that blockage in your arteries is pomegranate juice. In fact, pomegranate juice is so powerful as an antioxidant, as a vitamin and mineral supplementation. It is one of the few fruits that actually have been clinically shown to reduce occlusion in your arteries. There was a clinical study that looked at the effects of pomegranate juice on the arterial wall, and the results showed that pomegranates and pomegranate juice was able to significantly reduce blockage in the arteries. I have another superfood that can also help remove plaque from the arteries, but we're out of time, so I'm going to save that for the next video. So if you want to know what that superfood is, check out my next video and we'll follow back. Thank you for listening. I hope you found value. Like and follow.